Hi Libra, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your June 2024 tarot reading. Thank to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as well as what we have in front of us, Celtic Cross spread as always, and also pulled the 4 agreements and Wisdom and Oracle card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off our own notes of astrology guys we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright, we have Virgo, and Virgo is actually your 12th house of spirituality, blind spots, and mental health. Astrologically speaking, it's a little quiet there right now, but you could just have a focus on an area of life in general. Alright, we have Mercury, and Mercury recently came out of shadow. It's going to be in Taurus for the first few days of June, and then it's going to move into Gemini, which is its home. And then I think toward the end of the month, it's going to be in Cancer as well. So it's basically going to be moving from your 8th through to your 10th house. And we have 4. So 4th house is actually Capricorn, and 4th house for you guys, that points to home, roots, mother. And astrologically speaking, it's a little quiet there. We have Pluto backtracking toward Capricorn, but it's still not going to really be in there for another couple of months. But yeah, you could have some focus on an area of life as well. And I do see Capricorn energy in your main spread too. So we'll keep all that in mind as we go through the main spread. So starting with that, in the main situation position, we have the Devil. So there's the Capricorn energy we were talking about. And challenging that, we have the 8 of Cups, which is Pisces energy. So yeah, for some of you, this could just be saying that maybe you have an attitude. All right, so let's look at this. Given that Pisces energy is your 6th house, and Capricorn, generally speaking, often points to career type stuff, right? Let's say maybe a mentality that you had around what you should do for a career, right? And when you were growing up, maybe from your early upbringing, you were like, okay, this is what I have to do to be successful, right? And maybe you followed that path. You might have just felt like you really digging into that path. And now you might feel like it's just not really fulfilling for you, right? So maybe you're looking for a way to separate yourself from that now, right? So, and it could be one of those things too, where it could be hard to do, right? Because maybe you built up a lot of time, experience, success within that field, but if it's not really speaking to you anymore, right, you could be reevaluating, like, okay, do I really want to stay on this path, right? Where part of you might feel stuck on that path as well, but there's also part of you that seems to want to break free from it. And I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be a work thing either. It could just be anything that you might have found yourselves in a karmic loop, right? Where you're like, okay, I keep repeating the cycle over and over and over, feeling like you have to get out of it and not quite sure how to do so. And you might feel like, while it might have been comforting to you for a while, right? You might have felt like it was the right thing for a while. It doesn't seem to be the case anymore, but it could just be finding a way to break free. That's a little bit of the difficulty for you right now. Right, in the foundation position, we have the 2 of Swords. So yeah, to me, this says this is something that you've given a lot of thought to as well. This is actually a Libra energy right here for one, but beyond that too, could just be saying that, you might have been weighing the pros and cons, right? Like, okay, how can I get out of this? Maybe this is something you've had an emotional attachment to, right? Like we said, for something, this could be something that's been ingrained in you from such a young age that it might just be, you might feel like it's an ingrained part of you at this point. So it could just be one of those things where, like, okay, let me just put the emotions aside from the situation, right, and really just logically figure out what the next best step should be, right? But you might still be finding a difficulty going that route as well. Right, in the past position, we have the 7 of Cups. So this is Scorpio energy here, which is your 2nd house. So yeah, it could just be saying that maybe in the past, for example, maybe you found yourself being quite a bit more materialistic in the past, let's say, right? So maybe that was what your goals were around. Like, oh, I want to, get this job so I can acquire these things, right? And maybe you started to accumulate those things over time. And then once you started to get them, you're like, okay, why was I so dead set on getting these things, right? You might get them and you might feel like, okay, that wasn't nearly as fulfilling as I thought it would be, right? Or maybe it was at one time, but now you're reevaluating that, like, what spoke to me back then doesn't necessarily speak to me now. All right, in the present position, we have the Ace of Cups. So yeah, for some of you, maybe this is a very recent thing, right? Like I said, maybe you've just traditionally been very centered around those types of things, more materialistic things, just accumulating wealth, things along those lines. And now that you might be feeling a shift all of a sudden, possibly because you guys have had this South Node moving through your sign, which could be about releasing things. So maybe that's part of it at the very least. But yeah, looks like now you're being called on a different path. All right, in the near future position, we have the Knight of Swords. So this is actually Gemini energy here. So timeline-wise, of course, it makes sense to see a Gemini energy pop up in the near future. But beyond that, it could just be saying that finally you might have that fire lit under you to finally tackle whatever the situation is, right, that you've had difficulty breaking free from. So it looks like you will be action-oriented toward doing something about it this month. And in a way that would make sense too, because we're going to have Jupiter moving through Gemini all of June, and that's your ninth house of philosophy, higher learning. So maybe something will just click for you this month to where you're like, okay, finally I see what I need to do now. All right, in the position of your influences on the situation, we have the Eight of Wands. So yeah, Sagittarius energy here, which is your third house communication. And this could just be saying that finally that's going to get the ball rolling for you guys, right? So like I said, once the situation clicks, it looks like you're going to be able to free yourselves from that devil energy and then really get moving toward new goals and feeling like you're finally allowed that freedom that you've been looking for quite some time as well. For some of you might feel that as soon as the Sagittarius full moon, because at the time recording this, we haven't had that full moon just yet. So for those of you who physically watch this when we're already in June, it would have happened. But for those of you who watch this when I first posted, we haven't had that full moon yet. So be on the lookout for that. That might even be when you might start to feel this change within you. All right, in the environment position, we have the Five of Swords. So yeah, again, this could just be pointing to maybe the environment that you were in, right? Maybe you were in a hyper-competitive environment, right, where it was, win by any means necessary type of dynamics, right? And maybe for a while you might have thrived in that, and now you're just looking back on it like, you know what? I don't really feel the same pull toward that dynamic anymore that I once did. Right, in the hopes or fears position, we have the Fool. So yeah, to me this says that there's definitely a part of you that really does want to just have a completely fresh start, right? Break away from whatever this cycle, this pattern was that you've been on for quite some time now and do something completely new. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Three of Pentacles. So this is Capricorn energy here as well, which is also, like we saw with the fourth house energy, but obviously a much healthier version of Capricorn energy compared to the Devil card that we see, right? So it could just be saying that whatever the situation is, you'll find that maybe okay. It doesn't have to be winner take all type dynamics all the time, right? Maybe you actually figure out a way to where you could keep some of that element, but also in a more collaborative setting, right? To where you might feel like, okay, I could get further along doing it this way versus, it's winner take all, every man or woman for themselves, right? So it could just be one of those things where you're shifting out of that energy and into a more collaborative energy. All right, bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Pentacles. So yeah, like I said, maybe this was just one of those things where these are values that you might have held for quite some time, and again, they probably very much served their purpose, right, for the time when you did hold those values, but now as you're feeling this pull shifting you away from those things, that could be a little bit of the difficulty of letting it go, but I feel like what we're seeing here is it's not about completely letting it go, but just putting it in a way that works for you in a more healthy way now, compared to back then. All right, from your Four Agreements card, we have Always Do Your Best, and it says take action without expecting a reward. Okay, it says to do your best and take the action because you love it, not because you expect a reward. When you take action without expecting a reward, you enjoy every action, and you can even receive greater rewards than you imagined. So yeah, definitely an interesting message there, right? Because another way, like I was saying, the winner take all, right? Another way that that could be playing out is maybe you would approach everything with a "what's in it for me" type mentality, right? Which is fine in certain settings, but if you approach that, of certain areas of life with that approach, that could actually hold you back in some ways because if you don't see immediately what could come from something, you might hold yourself back from engaging in it, and that might actually let some opportunities slip through your fingers. So hopefully that resonated. All right, from the Wisdom Oracle deck, we have Exchanging Gifts. There's the artwork, and the number is 27. So we'll see what this has to say. All right, essential meanings. It says the law of giving and receiving, currency, trade-offs, weighing cost, and determining value. The Oracle's message: you're entering into a productive and enriching time when all manner of opportunities are being offered to you. You have everything you need to seize them, yet in order to honor them, you must put in the time, exchange your experience and skills, and commit heart and soul to what you're choosing to pursue. You can do it. You have what it takes to be successful if you align with the law of giving and receiving. You must engage in the dance of give and take, push and pull, doing and being. If you let fear guide your choices, you could deplete yourself or create an imbalance. This is not a time of just do, do, do. Use your currency wisely and be mindful of the value others bring to your life. So yeah, so the use your currency wisely thing was what I was feeling when we were talking about the Three of Pentacles, where it's like I said, maybe not completely ditching that mentality that did get you to a certain point in the past, but just finding a way that it will work for you better now in the present versus the way it might have been better for you to use it in the past. All right, the relationship message says love is an exchange of life force energy between two beings. It grows exponentially when it's reciprocated. You must give and receive in order for love to flourish and abundance to flow between you. Spirit wants you to start accepting all the blessings waiting for you, as well as offer the same gift in return. Open your heart and allow it to be filled. Let love in and let it flow out of you, too. Love is truly yours today. So yeah, well, definitely an interesting message there, and I do have to say this didn't really come across as a relationship message initially, but I mean, to be fair, we do see the Ace of Cups there, right? So maybe for somebody that was a relationship dynamic that you had to break free from, right? Maybe always going into a relationship with a certain mentality, maybe you're moving away from that and finding more supportive connections in the process. All right, the prosperity message says all your hard work and efforts, your commitment to learning, creating, and spending your time wisely pay off in ways you may not have been anticipating. The gifts of yourself, your time, your ideas, and the energy of your intentions are being reciprocated by the universe, which is sending you signs and signals, aligning synchronistic meetings and opportunities to bring you success and more. Everything is an exchange. Keep doing what you're doing. Goodwill comes back tenfold. So yeah, again, definitely a positive, supportive message there. Hopefully that resonated with you guys. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.